Hello and welcome to the Mindset Coach podcast, the show where coaches and coaches-to-be tune in to learn how to integrate mindset coaching tools and neuroscience-based techniques into their practice and grow and scale a coaching business they love. Each week I'll be sharing easy-to-implement tips, case studies and business strategies that you can use right away to transform your own mindset and the mindset of those you coach. I'm your host, Lara Young, founder of the Mindset Coach Academy, author of 52 Adventures to Change Your Life, award-winning business owner, coach and coach trainer. Tune into this podcast each Friday, free on all the podcasting apps, and click to subscribe so you never miss an episode. And remember, mindset is everything. One of the questions that I get asked a lot is, can you actually coach online? And it's interesting because I think sometimes people think of coaching as being an in-person, i.e. in the same space experience. And of course, with the advent of COVID and with the advent of the internet before that, of course, we've discovered that we can coach over a computer using things like Zoom or Skype. And of course, we can also coach over the telephone as well. And in fact, many years ago, coaching was done by telephone as much as it was done in person. So let's talk today about how we actually master the art of online coaching and what are some of the things that you need to be conscious of and aware of when you're coaching online. So, you may still be coaching face-to-face in person, and absolutely some of the students who've come through the Mindset Coach certification program still do coach in person with their clients. They have spaces that they have in wellness centers or in their own homes, and clients come and visit them. And, that's great, and that really works for them. One of the ways, of course, that we can expand and grow our business and expand and grow our reach is through online platforms. And it really does provide a wealth of possibilities for you as a coach to widen that client reach, to onboard clients from all over the world. So, for example, I work with people just about in every continent. Well, I do in every continent across the globe, and many countries within those continents as well. And so, as a coach, when you really know who it is that you're working with, your ideal client, and you know the niche in which they exist, then the world is your lobster. You can literally get clients from anywhere, assuming, of course, that you are speaking the same language as they are so that you can communicate really effectively. So let's have a think about some of the things that we need to be able to do to make online coaching a seamless experience for ourselves and our clients. One of the other things that I get asked a lot is, can real transformations happen through a screen? And it's really interesting because I think one of the answers to this is that when people make a transformation in a coaching relationship, one of the fundamental things for that is that they need to feel comfortable. They need to be comfortable. There needs to be a rapport between the coach and the client. And often people are most comfortable in their own homes, in their own space, in their own environment. And so actually online coaching leads really well into that and leans into it because people can be on their computer, on their phone, in their own home, in a space that's comfortable to them. And then that also encourages them to be more vulnerable. They feel safe in their own space. Sometimes I think there's, a little bit of friction or uncertainty if we need to go to someone else's home or space, or even if we walk into, a wellness center where we're going in to see a coach. There's that slight bit of, anticipation there that maybe is greater than if we're just sitting at home and logging on Zoom or Skype to chat with our coach. And the interesting thing is that when we think about coaching, and I'm talking here more broadly about coaching and therapy, so I'm including in this things like timeline therapy, things like hypnotherapy, EFT, emotional freedom technique. They are all able to be done remotely via the screen. I've also experienced things like Reiki, things like emotion code healing. So there are lots of different things that we can do that don't require us to be co-located, that perhaps we previously thought we needed to have. And that's because of the energy that's involved in coaching, and also because of the fact that when we are coaching via a screen, there are fewer distractions. And so, we are very, very much present with our clients. We are there. And it just enables us to have that real dedicated focus with them, and to be paying attention at that really deep level, actively listening, really paying attention to body language, and really tuning in to our client's energy and emotional state. So the interesting thing, I think, when you're thinking about setting up for doing online coaching is that the tech really matters. So it's no longer about sort of making your couch really comfortable or having the right ambient lighting in your room if they're coming to you. It's actually about making sure that the tech is right. So you really want to make sure that you have a good microphone, or that your microphone that you're using on your computer system is clear, that you've got really great internet connectivity, that your camera works, that you've got that stable internet connection. Because one of the things that, of course, can really disrupt a coaching session if you're doing it online is intermittent internet, where you're kind of going in and out, one person's freezing, you're having to repeat things. So make sure as well that you're using reliable platforms like Zoom or Skype. Google Teams can also be used, of course, so that you have that link that your client logs into and you've got that really stable connection with them. And also those platforms are really user-friendly and they're widely accepted and used. You also can make really great use of things like digital tools as well. So you can be screen sharing, which is an added benefit when you are coaching online. So, for example, if your client has completed the Mindset Dimensions report, you can pull up their report on screen and you can go through those results with them. And you can also focus their attention on the screen to a particular element, to a particular dimension of mindset while you're talking. Screen sharing also means that you can be completing things like action plans in real time where they can see them. Similarly, you can be reviewing their values hierarchy and again sharing that online with them where they can see it, and it becomes a real live in-time dialogue and conversation because they know what you're actually writing down.
Want to learn more about how you can become a certified mindset coach? Head on over to our website, www.mindsetcoachacademy.com/coach certification, and you'll find all the information that you need, along with a button to book a call with me to talk about how you can become the best coach you can be.
The other thing I would say as well is that where you can, when you're coaching online, use video, because that just gives us an extension of being able to see our clients' facial expressions, their body language, their eye movements, their breathing. If you're, for example, using hypnotherapy in a client session, then being able to see their breathing, being able to notice those idiomotor signals is very, very important feedback for you as a coach in that space. It is also, I think, one of the things that, because we can see our client by video, we can interact with them more effectively than potentially we can if we are just using audio. Although there were some research studies done back in the 1980s, I think before much more widespread use of the internet, that coaching on the telephone was actually more profound, more powerful than coaching face-to-face, because it enhances our active listening ability. Okay. And so, really tuning in there, making sure that you are actively listening and paying attention with your visual contact. So key to actually blend those two elements. Make sure as well, I think, when you are contacting people and you're coaching people online, you want to make sure that you are communicating in between sessions. And we've talked about this before with tasking. And I think it's easy just to set up those mechanisms by which you can communicate with your client online just via email or messenger, or you might use Voxer in between sessions. You might even send them a little video reminder. You can record it in Loom or Zoom. Send them a video reminder of their actions. And again, that just personalizes that experience. And it also just reinforces, them seeing you on screen in the same way that they do in your coaching sessions. So I think there are a couple of other things that we just need to be conscious of outside of, having a stable internet connection and making sure that we're using a platform that is reliable, like Zoom or Skype or Teams. And that is that while you're in focus and in session, you really want to make sure that you are minimizing any other distractions. And so, there are things that happen when we're on coaching calls, particularly when we're working from home. So things like a doorbell rings and, someone's knocking at the door and there's a parcel delivery, or your child runs into the room if they've come in from school. So what you really want to do is to minimize those, make it clear to people that you are in coaching session, and have your office door shut, and just make them aware that you're not to be disturbed. But if you are disturbed, it can be part of a teaching moment, part of a coaching moment, where we can talk about how that's real life. We do have disruptions, we do have interruptions, and how do we manage our reactions to those? And we can demonstrate that in real time, can't we, with our clients? Because, then that becomes, again, a way for us to build rapport with our clients as well, and to help them to develop some strategies for when maybe they get disrupted or they go a little bit off track or distracted from achieving their goals. So I think the thing is, when you are setting up your coaching practice and you are coaching online, the other thing is to make sure that you do schedule in all of those sessions in advance, so both you and the client know. Keep your link the same for your Zoom or your Skype. Make sure that's always the same so that they can save that and it becomes familiar. And use technology to your advantage. And, it's not just about one-to-one coaching. This can also, of course, be used for group coaching experiences where you're coaching a number of people at the same time, or group programs. So things like we have the Coaches Success Accelerator or the Coaches Success Society. All of that we can do with people across the globe online via Zoom. And the idea is, of course, that you can encourage and increase the dynamism of your presentations as well, or your coaching sessions, by adding in those on-screen elements, those shared screen elements. And, keep up with the latest trends when it comes to online coaching as well. And that's something that we're really keen to do as well, to make sure that we do have the latest information, the most up-to-date methods and tools to be able to be really effective when we're coaching online. So what we will do is drop below some of the practical resources and technical equipment. We'll drop that below this video, just to say you don't necessarily need an upgraded microphone or camera, particularly if your inbuilt system on your computer is really effective. It's not something you need to invest in straight away. You may want to start looking at some of those action planning tools, and you can use things like a Google spreadsheet that you share on screen with your client to track progress. You can use Trello, for example, or Asana. Any of those sort of tools that enable collaboration with your client, very, very useful. And so I would definitely, check out the tools, the resources. We've also got some feedback tools and resources for you as well. So take a look at it. Think about how you can maximize the effectiveness of your online coaching. And if you haven't been online coaching before, then please, I'd love to hear that you are making the shift into online coaching and broadening the range of your impact that you can have with a wider client base across the globe. Bye for now.
Well, that wraps up this week's episode of the Mindset Coach podcast. Remember to join us next week for another episode and subscribe on iTunes. Leave us a review if you've loved it. Share it with your friends. And I really look forward to learning how you're implementing the tools and techniques that you're learning here. Mindset is everything.